the best friend? Who's this?
Yes, this is the
I've heard
childhood
a
best
lot
friend.
about you.
Yeah,
Heard a
this
lot
is
about
the
you.
Aries.
Yep.
Yep. Hey guys, welcome back to In the Chair. So, on today's episode, my guest is one of my absolute favorite people I've ever met in the industry. Her name is Alexandra Zach. She is a celebrity photographer, badass female entrepreneur. She runs her own business, and she's also a model, if you can't tell by looking at her. So, I really can't wait for y'all to absorb so much of her knowledge because she's literally just exuding it. So, Alex, thank you so much for coming today.
Thanks for having me.
Can you tell the viewers a little bit about where you come from? Did you have exposure to this production industry or modeling, and how did you get into this?
Okay. It started off with me modeling. I started modeling when I was 14, 15. I've always been into photography to the point that my parents put limits on the roles that I developed. So it'd be one a week. I couldn't take more than one to get developed at like the local Walgreens
So,
or
how many photos is in a roll? Like, how many are we
it's
talking?
only like 36 or it used to be 36 or 24.
Girl,
So I had to be really careful what I was
I
taking.
take that many selfies in a
Oh my
week. I
God,
don't feel that
I
bad.
know, but but I started to go in front of the lens when I was 14, 15. Was with a couple agencies, met a bunch of photographers along the way, took a break, went to college, graduated college, bartended, traveled the world, and continued to meet other people in the industry. And at one point, I met one photographer that really took me underneath his wing, and he had a studio in Atlanta at the goat farm, and he let me use the studio and all this equipment and like taught me. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't know the studio lighting or have the chance to learn because I didn't have a ton of money when I started like a decade ago. Like I really starting doing it, and so he just let me shoot all the time for fun and for free. And so I would contact all these local agencies and be like, can I shoot any of your models, please, 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 just to practice. So it was a lot of tears, a lot of years, a lot of trial and error, and yeah, now I fully booked, have a studio north of here, and
that's amazing. Yeah. So you really did like feet on the ground. We're just running into your vision.
It really was, and I wasn't really quite sure what my vision was. It's really changed over time, and my clients actually have morphed what my initial idea of what I was going to be doing is today.
And your clients are so niche to you too. Like you have badass clients. Like they're amazing.
I do. I love them very much so, and it's morphed into. I really, when I first started off, I wanted to do just modeling and just photographing like talent, and then an editorial type of niche. And so over time, though, my clients that picked me has changed it so that I am more of a small business or larger business that are they're entrepreneurial type people that are creative but in a different sense.
So for the people watching that are aspiring to do modeling or photography or start their own business and kind of niche a client, when you talked about like the tears and the trials and the tribulations of it, what part of that was your trials? Like what did you face that you wish you kind of would have known more about, or maybe you could like give advice to someone like, don't give up in this season? What did your bad seasons look like?
I mean, I feel like every year there is a bad season. I feel like there's lots of ups and downs in owning your own business. But the best advice that I wish I would have taken earlier, that just to not put on a Teflon suit. Like, don't let anything stick to you. If you have a vision, if there's any negative criticism or anyone throwing any shade or hate your way, just look at it. Maybe see like how you might be able to pivot, but for the most part, don't let it stick to you. Is my biggest thing. Because a lot of people would be like, well, for me, they're like, well, this isn't going to, generate a ton of income for you. What are you going to do, with, the rest of your life? Like, how are you going to actually live? And I am living and
living well, honey, and living well,
and doing what I get to do and love it, which is the best part. But I would say take constructive criticism, but don't let it shake you from the path that you're on. Is probably the best suggestion that I could give.
That's really good.
And then hire someone to do your bookkeeping. If you're getting busy, immediately I'm terrible with money, like awful. Like I don't know how to do taxes. I don't know how to do any of those things. That's one big thing that I would highly suggest. Get a bookkeeper. It's not very expensive. And have someone do your taxes, because there's a lot of creatives, especially your entrepreneurs, that you might be making a lot more money than you think you could possibly make, or that you are making, and you don't know how to write things off, or, I didn't know anything, but how to, do deductions and save money for a house or for a car or for whatever it may be. That
Mm-hmm.
help, I didn't know any of that.
So that's the next question I wanted to branch into with you is financial literacy, because me and you have talked about this since I've met you, and that's something that schools don't educate you on. You can go to college and go through college and not learn deductions and taxes. And when you're an entrepreneur, that's like the make or break is your financial literacy. You can be great at what you do and still end up MC Hammer broke. So like, how did you go about learning these things, and what advice do you wish you would have had or you could give to your younger self? Like, how did you get financially literate?
The advice I would give to my younger self is immediately get a bookkeeper that can budget and also do my taxes, because I think I messed up a lot. I owed a lot more. I could have done a lot of different things to save money and or to save for taxes or things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know. So at the end of the year, I'd be like, oh crap, I didn't make anything. Well, I didn't know. Like I didn't know what to do. So that would be a suggestion to my younger self. And then the other part of that would be, the biggest thing was clients of mine. You met Deanna, but Deanna was a
Mm-hmm.
financial advisor. She was a client that hired me to shoot her. And I was lucky that I had her brain to pick. And she was able to show me like, hey, I was an LLC for years. The point where, in the place where I'm at, I need to be an S corp, which I didn't even know what an S corp was. So now I have to file 2 different ways of do taxes: my personal and my corporation. Just things that I wouldn't know, but I am learning. And that's something too for the first question. This question is be willing to pivot and adapt. You might think that you really know how to do something, or you really know what you're doing, but you might not, and someone might be able to do it better. So that's been, take in constructive criticism and different ways to help manage your business has been huge for me, which I wasn't as open to a few years ago where I am now.
Mm-hmm. And then have you always had the confidence that you exude now, that you exactly kind of like who you are in the industry? I feel like that's a big thing.
It's all fake.
Kind of. Fake till you make it, girls.
Yes.
No, but it's a big thing when you go into modeling and like production industry. It literally is the art of producing an image. So it's easy to get in these environments with these big egos and these people that we work around all the time.
We talk about
and
that.
forget who you are.
Yeah.
Be minimized by the talent in my chair. Like, how have you always known how to navigate that? Did you grow that? Like, what would your advice be to people with that?
Well, both. So I grew up. I never went without, but my parents worked really hard to send me to schools that were very expensive when I was a kid, and so I grew up, very middle class. Never went without, but I didn't, grow up with, getting a Louis Vuitton bag at 13, like to the girls that that I was going to school with. So I think that I was able to be a chameleon in that sense, where I could show up because I at a really young age, I didn't feel like I belonged. Like I was like, I don't belong in this school. Like I don't have a family crest. These things
Yeah.
that I had to maneuver. So I was able to chameleon that, to put on a certain mask to show up, even though I wasn't very confident when I first started at all. But I did always pretend that I knew what I was doing. And I think that really helps with clients. If you walk in and you're fumbling and you're disorganized and you're scared or nervous, the clients can feel that. So I think there is
Mm-hmm.
a part of like being a good actor, actress, on set, of like telling yourself, hey, I can do this. Like I can walk in here, keep your head high, be organized. That's a big thing too. Like don't forget a lens, like don't forget a makeup bag, like just
Yeah.
show up on time. And with a smile on your face, you usually can maneuver. Don't freak out, don't panic. That's the best advice that I
Keeping
can give.
it together.
Yeah, and then also like I really curate the teams that I have on set with me, like you. Like I can sense immediately when someone is not collaborative, they're competitive. And I have learned the hard way of not. I've learned that with my, with my gut. Like in the hard way that I'm like, oh, I don't know about this person or this teammate. And I learned the hard way that feeling, that gut, I don't know, the God
intuition
spot,
of
like
it.
I don't know
Yeah.
what it is, that I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have worked with them. So going with your gut, with people that embrace you and collaborate with you, like you. I love having you on set. I am very particular of who I ask to come on set, because there can be a person there that will try to outshine you instead of shine with you.
And that's a big thing in the industry is like people
it is.
blackballing and like taking clients, and there's just all these hidden
It
agendas
is.
with certain people, and it's like they will be the friendliest person in the room, and then one day you're like, oh my God,
Yeah,
what
which
happened?
you do exactly. No, it's huge, but that's I love working with you because you always make me shine brighter and always
Oh,
help, and you always stay and make the clients feel special. So you're a huge asset.
thank you. I
You're
love
welcome. I
you.
love you too.
Oh. So then going into the next question, I would say, what is your inspiration? As a creative, how do you refill your well? Like, how do you draw your creative energy? Because I feel like burnout is another big thing. Once you're in your business and you have the wheels turning, you can burn out so easily from all the work that you take on.
Yeah, absolutely. The other day, I just got phone with Deanna because maybe 48 hours ago, I literally had to bed rot. Like, I had to just turn off my phone, just lay there because I was so burnt out. It's just, because part of our business too, we're showing up and doing work, and then we have things to do afterwards. The social media, that's a full-time job. All these things that we have to do, and then the networking and going to parties, and it's the holiday season that I was just like, oh my God, like
That's
I
what
just
gets
need a
me.
moment. And I get a lot of my inspiration through prayer. I know we have that in common. Like a
Yeah.
lot of prayer, a lot of being in nature. I'm not like a hiking type of girl, but I do like to be out in the sun, put my feet in the grass, reconnect, spend time with my mom, and just shut off from communication, or just do not go on to like any of the socials for a little bit to
Just
recharge.
unplugging,
Yes,
grounding.
but the creativity, like I get it from the people that I'm around and my clients. Like it's wild. Like you and I, when we have afterwards, when we leave, like, oh, that would be a great idea. Oh, we should do that. Like it's just a symbiotic thing that it will spark something in my mind, and it just kind of propels. So having strong, supportive, bright stars in your professional circle is huge, because if you don't have people that support you, it'll take instead of add, and it becomes a parasite versus a symbiotic relationship, which I'm so thankful we have a symbiotic relationship.
Amen to that. No, the first time, for the viewers watching and meeting us for the first time, we literally shot as strangers. We had just met each other on a shoot, and we sat for like 3 hours and literally just did this and talked about like life and everything. And I was like, my person.
Same.
Oh my gosh.
Same. Immediate. I was like, I have to have them all the time on set.
And so that's a big thing, like she said, is like you should feel refilled when you're done working versus drained. Like sometimes I'll take jobs on and I'm like, wow, I can't do a single thing when I get home. And I'm like, that's a red flag.
Yep.
That means something is sucking your soul out of you when you go to work, but it should be replenishing you.
Yep. Need that, because you'll get imposter syndrome. Or just earlier this week, I was like, God, you are awful. You are the worst. You're a terrible photographer. Like you're not going to get any clients. Like it doesn't matter where you're at. You're going to have self-doubt.
And we all go through that.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been in the business 13 years from the start until now, and I still to this day come home and I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Sitting on this couch right now, I'm like, what am I doing?
Right?
Who the hell am I to be filming a show? Who knows me?
Everyone knows you.
Girl,
Everyone loves you too.
But and this is what I mean. Y'all gas me up, so it's like your people fill you up every day. But it's so easy to. I love you. It's so easy to get that imposter syndrome, especially when you work around like big personalities and egos and industry people and celebrities and all this stuff. And so tell me about, like, have you felt adversity being a badass female entrepreneur in this industry? How has that been for you? Because I know sometimes it's hard when you come into a room and you have an energy about you. Certain people don't always receive you.
No, they don't, unfortunately.
Receive us.
Receive me. It's really interesting. So I used to take it super personally when I didn't feel like someone was being very warm towards me. And I would I would have a whole room of people that would be really encouraging and really sweet, but the one person that didn't seem to like me, I would just be like, why don't you like me? Like I would try to make them like me so hard. Now I don't really care. I don't care at all.
Same.
Because I have that full room of people that do adore me and love me. But the adversity that I experienced, I don't think I was taken very seriously for some time, maybe like a decade ago. I wasn't as well versed behind the camera or in front of it at that point. But I also, I think there's a lot more female photographers now that are awesome. Some of your friends like Allie that I absolutely love, that are great and talented, and Katie. But there weren't as, and Kale's great too. There weren't as many that were working with agencies maybe like a decade ago, and now I feel like there are, but I do feel like it was more male dominated, and so I think that's kind of shifted, which is cool because there's, we should.
It is. There's a lot of female producers.
Producers
I
and stuff
think
now.
honestly, all the producers I work with are female. Like
cool.
literally all of them, and they're
That's
amazing,
awesome.
badass women.
Yeah.
But it's different, It's cool to see women come to power, but also like you have to look out for your female adversaries because they catch hell sometimes being in high roles.
I
Like
think
there's
so,
certain
too.
people that don't see eye to eye with them, and it's
No,
like
it's weird. Like even when I had a conversation, I was close to my burnout. This was like 72 hours ago, and
this was yesterday, guys.
yeah, and then 48 hours, I was like burnt out. Don't talk to anybody. But I almost wanted. I had a client that I was being super assertive with, and I felt bad, like hanging up the phone. But I was like, no, I wasn't. I felt like, oh, they're gonna see me as being bitchy or rude, but I wasn't. I was just assertive of what was going on and what was going to happen and what to expect from me. And I had to really catch myself because I almost texted like, I'm really sorry if I sounded like kind of off or like upset. I've just been really busy. But it's like, that's not I wasn't anyway. I was just being assertive and calm and telling you what's going to happen. And I think that's been something to like, embrace, but it's difficult at times because someone might, think
perceive you a different way.
Bitchy versus being assertive, which I don't think guys get that as much,
No,
I'm like, no, I don't like that. I'm supposed to put like a smiley face afterwards versus
literally
hard XOXO.
That's how I feel like sending emails to clients.
Yeah,
like I've had people read my emails before, like doing administrative work, and they're like, Kevin, do you really talk to every single client that emails you like this? Because I do the same thing. I'm like, how are you? How's your weekend? Hope your family's well. And I treat everyone like family, but they're like, you're like the nicest person in emails.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I feel the need to overly be kind to you so you understand that I'm a friend, not a foe.
Right.
Like, because being a man in the industry, it's like sometimes people are dicks, for lack of a better word, and you got to make up that gap.
Yeah, you be assertive and not send 2 smiley faces, just 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know I do too. XOXO, I love you, heart. Please don't hate me.
Oh, okay. So having your business, having all the success you've had, and like you're really in your moment right now. For any producers, clients, people out there watching, what does your next 5 to 10 year goal look like for you? Where do you dream your business of going? What is you can like pinpoint a path?
If I could pinpoint a path, it's difficult for me to do. I really do spiritually. I try to stay in just for today. So I just stay in the day and do the best I possibly can for the day. If I could do anything differently for the next 5 years or pinpoint where I'd like to be, it would be more, just a little bit more travel would be fun, just to get to see the world while I get to do what I love. But I just want to keep, being booked and blessed, and
Amen.
And just doing the best I can every day, and be assertive with kindness, and that's pretty much it. Like I just want to be booked and blessed, and that's all.
Amen to that. And we will be booked and blessed. Entrepreneur, do you ever feel, because I feel like a lot of people, work-life balance is a very hard thing in today's inflated economy to have. Do you ever feel that you've had to choose between relationships and personal life and friendships and being serious in your career?
Yes. Currently, right now, I feel like a lot of my friendships are all within the industry, so they have blended over time. The friends that are not in the industry, I do have to make, and my family. This past, you and I both have been insanely booked the past like 90 days that I haven't even had a coffee with my mom. Like it's been insane. It's been either events, holiday parties, book for people getting their Christmas images or things that agencies wanting images for the New Year's, whatever it may be. So at times it is really difficult, but when I feel like it's more and more difficult, or I feel like kind of ooky. I don't know of any other word. I just start to feel like kind of like ill.
Yeah.
That like I need to get back to like my basics of like my basic humans that I have in my life, and really stay in touch with them, and have a nice day or days or take a trip or something. So I'm about due for
Little girl time.
yeah, or even
little
like
R&R.
Alex time, just to. You did that recently. And I was
did.
so jealous.
I did.
I was so jealous. I was like, oh damn,
Girl,
he was by himself
I did.
out there in the wilderness.
I've been taking some solo trips, y'all. I
Isn't it
highly
so
advise
good?
solo trips.
Solo trips are the best. You can wake up whenever. You can have like 8 coffees.
You can
if
lay
you
in the
want
hotel if you don't feel like doing anything.
Yeah.
10 out of 10
out
recommend
of 10.
solo trips to just wash the world off of you. Just let it go.
My best trips ever have been solo.
Mhm.
Solo by myself.
No pressure, no peer pressure,
You
nothing.
meet random people. You don't have to worry about the person that's with you if they don't like the random people that you
And it
met.
also, for me, it helps to live in the moment because it's like I know that what I'm doing is right here, and when I go home, like there's no expectation that we're going to continue any of this. Like it's I'm here today.
Yes,
you know what I'm
exactly.
saying? I'm just here today.
I love it.
And then if you had a dream client, what would that client look like for you?
My dream client would be someone that's like super creative, that's willing to push the limit with things that we're doing in front of the lens. Someone that has like a great budget. That's always winning.
People with the good budgets, call us.
Call us.
We love a good budget.
Time. I love good budgets. A dream client would be someone. I love working with entrepreneurs. I truly do. Someone that has a really good idea or a really good business model.
Their brains also think differently. Every time I work with anyone that owns anything, I'm just like, y'all.
Aren't you sponge when you're like, please tell me what you do.
Tell me everything. How you came up with it.
Yes.
One of her clients, I'm not going to name anyone, but one of her clients that I met and glammed developed like a math phonics thing and sold it, like a national phonics mathematical institute, and sold it. How do you come up with that?
Like I don't have to work in a day of their life again.
Exactly.
I know.
Like how?
We need to come up with math.
Girl, I could barely do the math to get this show running. You feel me? I'm a beautician, not a mathematician.
I just have flashcards with simple math,
fractions.
1/4.
And then
that's all I got.
One more question I thought of is if you had a favorite job you've done or a client you've done, is there one that comes to mind?
They're all so different, but I really love the Bougie Boss Ladies.
That was a really good one.
I really love them.
Shout out to the Bougie Boss Lady.
I really love them. I really love Deanna. But I think that one's so special because there's so much involved, and every single one of the players that come onto the shoot are like super powerhouse people, and just getting to meet all of them and seeing everyone like connect and mingle and see their strengths and weaknesses and be able to talk and communicate and create these awesome images. I enjoy it. It was the second year for you're doing the next year too, obviously, but
yes, ma'am.
Second year for me, and I enjoyed it each and every time. But I like doing the talent too, like the new models. I enjoy the new models and like seeing in the beginning they're really super uncomfortable and then watching them start to like come out of their shell and shine during the studio time is cool, and then seeing them to continue to go and get booked on like crazy awesome jobs. That's fun too. I like it all.
I love that. I love seeing someone come full circle.
Me too.
And then if there's any advice or anything you could say to the aspiring viewers at home and just people that are trying to find their path in the industry or get into the industry, what would it be?
For me, it was work for fun and for free. No expectations, just like show up, be on time, have a smile on your face. But I did work for fun and for free a lot in the beginning, just to start to meet people. Networking is huge in our industry. Don't be a dick.
Life rule. Don't be a dick.
Be kind and meet people that share similar values on set, like just showing up, being kind, being nice, not being competitive. And I am totally a collaborative photographer. We just had that shoot. If you see something that you think is awesome, like I am not, everyone's a chef.
You're not a gatekeeper.
No, I'm not a gatekeeper. I like to bring people and their ideas on set. That would be a thing too. Don't be, and then also, try your best to take constructive criticism. I've had some intense constructive criticism that has brought me to tears, but it was the best advice and best suggestions that I could possibly take that totally changed the route and the trajectory of my business. And so
Yeah.
I'm very glad that I was given that really hard and tough love.
I've been there too. And it's also hard when it's like you do things in a good way and they don't get received. I've had clients and I've had jobs and shoots I've done where it's like I know that what I'm doing is great, but no one around me will see it. And then I'll go to that next job months later and they're like, this is the greatest thing we've ever seen. And I'm like, I knew that I was being gatekept. Like there was someone not seeing me.
Yep.
It wasn't me, it's the room I'm in. So sometimes it's just the room
huge.
you're in.
It is sometimes the room that you're in. And if I would have stayed in certain rooms, I would not be here today. I would not have met you.
I know.
I love
it's just
it.
crazy that we're here.
I know.
This
I
is
love
literally a
this.
vision I had, and I told you about it.
It's wild. I was like, hell yeah, I want to be on the show.
And here we are filming a show.
It's amazing. I'm really proud of you.
I love you.
I love you
Thank
too.
you.
Yeah,
Thank you for coming and
yes,
doing this.
Of course.
She literally is in the middle of like a shoot day and like took a lunch break to come here.
It was my pleasure. I wouldn't miss it.
Hopefully you guys at home have soaked everything up from us that you can. And I thank you for watching. And if there's any questions you have for Alexandra or for me or about her business, drop them in the comments section. Let me know. And thank you for watching.
Golden, love
I
you.
love you.
Love you, love you. Ooh, amazing.
Good luck with everything. Here's your vape, girl.
Oh, I would have been pissed.